Hey, Jim Bob. Shane described like where Anthony is at right now is it's a process, just a process you guys are going through with where he is in his development track. Obviously, it's changed from early in the year when it was about reps. Now he's behind the scenes. But from your perspective, what does that process look like, and how do you kind of gauge, I guess, where he's at, how he's progressing, kind of in the spot that he's at right now?
Yeah, it's just staying really consistent within that weekly process, which becomes a daily process, right? What does Tuesday look like? What does Wednesday look like? We have our meetings, our walkthroughs, our practices. Uh, those are scheduled out. What's the process around that? How can we improve that? How can we become more consistent within that? Each day is a little bit different. Each day has a different emphasis for a part of the game, or maybe something we're focusing on, or maybe something defensively that they're really good at, or we really got to dive into mentally. It's a consistency of the process and just sort of attacking that. And sometimes for a young player, just figuring out exactly what that is, exactly what that looks like, and having a chance to really evaluate that and sort of put that good plan together, put that good sort of weekly process, weekly plan together. So he's working through that. He's working hard. Just sort of keep on working. We're going to keep on working.
Just to follow up on that, I mean, do you find yourself, do you have a chance to kind of watch his practice film and really dive into how he's doing right now? Or is that something that is hard to balance when you have, a game plan to put together and everything else to try to win a game?
Yeah, we're able to watch sort of all sides of the ball around here. Now, obviously, when we're preparing for an opponent, you have to be mindful of your time and mindful of how you spend that. But yeah, we're able to to watch some of that stuff and evaluate some of that stuff and maybe have some notes or pointers as we go along the way for sure.
James.
Jim Bob, obviously the last few weeks hasn't been the greatest on offense. What do you think has been the theme there? And I guess how do you all get rolling and just generate, I guess, more consistency?
Yeah, we're it's consistency drive to drive, quarter to quarter, game to game, that we would love to find more of. We're able to have those big plays, those explosive plays, but just drive after drive, consistency, really being able to control the ball and move the ball and manage that in a couple different ways, which you need to do in this league against those top opponents to have a chance to win. We played a couple good opponents, good teams, good defenses, and I thought, gosh, if we were a little bit more consistent, that would have helped our team out and given us a little bit better shot to go win. So we got to do a better job. Myself, sort of starting with me behind the scenes, we got to go, coach these guys up better and put a better plan together and have a great week of work this week. We got another tough opponent we're playing, and they just come week after week in this league. So it's a big challenge for us, but just sort of increasing that consistency, I think, is really important. Play after play, drive after drive, game after game.
And one quick follow-up, what's the balance of, all right, as an offensive coordinator, as a team, as coaches, you have to put your players in better positions to succeed. But then also, how much does Joe just wear whatever he didn't do right? Because he seems like a guy who doesn't run from accountability and things like that.
How much does he weigh? I'm sorry, I missed the middle
I
part of
guess
that.
how much does he just, I guess, own it in a sense? Like, what's the balance of that? Like, okay, we know we have a guy in there who's not going to make any excuses for how he's played, so it's not just all on us, but he knows he has to perform better as well. Like, what's that balance like?
Yeah, I think accountability is a key part of a successful NFL team. It goes all around. It's you know coach to player, player to coach, player to player. We're all accountable to each other. We got a bunch of good guys who are pushing to be that way, pushing to sort of we're trying like crazy to go compete and win these games. And as you go do that, anybody out here, coach, player, any of us, we're not going to be perfect. We're going to make a few mistakes along the way. And I think accountability is a real key aspect of improvement, getting better. You go through your good stretches and your bad stretches in a season. And a lot of times sort of having the ability to say, shoot, I made a mistake on that one, or I want that one back, can help you sort of avoid that mistake in the future. So accountability is definitely something we talk about, something we believe in.
George.
Jim Bob, as you go through this process with Anthony, have you seen growth from him in the last couple of weeks as he's been kind of out of the public picture? And how do you internally measure that growth?
Yeah, he's working and improving and getting better behind the scenes. We're always we're in so many of these meetings. We're in this building. You guys have been in this building. We're all in this building. We pass each other in the hall. We're all sort of working to put the best plan together for the guys, and oftentimes they're stopping by, checking in on, what's on that first and second down game plan, or what are we doing on third down this week, or hey, what'd you think about this blitz? It's a little bit of a common thing around here, around NFL buildings, where guys are in and out of different meetings, whether it's an official meeting or just those guys sort of studying on their own. We're able to sort of communicate with them and work with them and help them where needed. And obviously we're doing our sort of game planning and all that stuff as well. So we're just all keep working, keep improving, working on sort of the consistency of our process all around. That's all of us.
There's a couple more here, Joel.
You guys flip-flopped Alec over to Pitt's spot and played AD in Alec's spot. You think that helped AD just from a being comfortable standpoint from what he's done so far to get to this point?
I'm sure a little bit. Alex, he's a veteran guy, been around, learned the offense, kind of knows the nuances. We've moved him around a little bit in the past also. So sometimes there's just nuances to the alignments, nuances to the formations. And Alec, had a little bit of background doing that. We thought that would serve a purpose to maybe make them both a little more at ease within the whole situation. We're able to manipulate formations as needed to get guys where we want them, pretty much. So from a learning standpoint, a weekly process standpoint, we thought that was probably the best. And both those guys went out there and played some good ball, did a good job with their role. So guys did a nice job with it.
Last two, we'll go James and then Nate.
Jim Bob, circling back to the process thing with AR, we've heard you mentioned that, Shane mentioned that. It's sort of vague, quite frankly, but with Anthony, is it unvague for him? Like, is it clear? Do you think that he understands fully what is expected of him, in whatever role he is with this franchise at the moment?
Yeah, I think it's more in our interest to be less vague with him and a little more vague with you guys. I don't always love coaching guys through the media. I like to coach them for real, and we're trying to communicate like crazy. We're teachers, and thus we're communicators at our core. That's what we do as coaches. If something doesn't get, if something doesn't quite happen the way you think it should, a lot of times as a coach, you probably ought to look at how you said it. How did I coach this guy? How did I teach that thing? So we're making sure that we detail that out. We're making sure that we have a good plan for that, so that we're that process is getting more consistent as these weeks go, and Anthony and all our guys have a clear view of what that is and what that maybe can be to be a little bit better. But yeah, vagueness is a key. Sometimes sitting in front of this big screen TV here with the microphone, but the opposite is a little bit better with the players, I think, sometimes. So
respect. Thank you.
And last question from Nate.
All right. Well, I'm fearing the vagueness a little bit, but just wanted to ask you about Jonathan Taylor, because it seems like there's been a theme this year where you guys have run him early and he's having success, and then get to the fourth quarter and he doesn't seem to have as big of a role. Is that do you find, is that related to like the score? Does the score dictate that? Is there a point in the game where maybe you're looking to give him a break that just aligns with that? And would you like to see that? Does that need to change to where he becomes a bigger player in the fourth quarter for you guys?
Yeah, I think I think there are multiple sort of whys for that. A little bit of that is the score. Sometimes, at the end of those games, and you don't want to find yourself down multiple scores late in games, but a little bit, a couple times this year we have. That's going to skew towards the drop back pass game, and that's going to take the ball out of the hand. At least the running game. Now, those guys caught some balls last week late, but it's going to change the plays that you call. That's just sort of situational schematic stuff. That'll happen sometimes to you in a game, and vice versa will happen. We'll have some 4-minute going at some point where we're handing the ball off quite a bit. We're searching for more consistency, and that includes the entire offense. That includes the run game. Gosh, we hit some huge ones last week, but we can be a little more consistent. We can operate a little more consistently. That'll help our team get a little bit more consistent, because 1st and 10 will go to 2nd and 5 or 2nd and 3 or even another 1st and 10. That's the whole offense. That's us drawing them up, here this week and teaching the guys and executing it. I think, the more consistent you are in the run game, that feeds into more run calls and feeds into maybe future run game consistency. So we're working on, doing our jobs at a higher level as coaches so that our guys can go out there and play really, really, really fast. And, the game situations are going to dictate some stuff. That's just the nature of this business here. But shoot, JT popped a few really good ones the other day. We'd love to keep pushing and grinding and trying to find those holes for him so he can go pop a few more.